Okay, today on my storage tips, we're talking about lettuce. I have this beautiful peppery lettuce that I got at farmer's market recently. So if you've been following me for any amount of time, you'll hear me say that one of the most wasted items in my house is lettuce. I don't use it up that much. So one of the ways I'm trying to curb that is just by buying a little bit less. But lettuce is a high humidity item. So if you think about it, it would wilt rather than rot right away. And that's because there's lots of water in the leaves. So you want to store it with high humidity. This is one of the pieces of produce that really matters what you do on your humidity drawers. You know, in the produce drawers, you have those little bars on most refrigerators where you can go high or low humidity. So slide yours over to high humidity, which means that the holes in the drawer are closing. Because then when you put cold, watery things in there, it keeps the moisture inside. So you might get some like steaminess on the outside there. And that's actually the humidity, which is going to keep the lettuce crisp. Other things you can put in the high humidity drawer are like carrots and other leafy greens, herbs, things like that. So this one's a bit of a conundrum because one of the best and easiest ways to store lettuce is in a plastic bag. And you can kind of leave the end open. You don't want to seal it too much so you still get airflow. And then you do a paper towel in here that's either mostly dry if the lettuce has a little bit of dampness on it, or you can just do super lightly damp. Like I would almost sprinkle water like this at the paper towel. Don't run it under the water. That would be too much. It's a conundrum because then you're using a plastic bag. So you're like reducing food waste, but wasting single-use plastic. But if you use a bag like this that you kind of just keep for lettuce over and over and over again, you can use probably the same piece of or same Ziploc bag for months because it's not like anything else is going in there. The other way to do it is with a Tupperware container like this. This is actually fantastic. If you have room to put this in your produce drawer, that's great. If you need to put this on the next shelf up, this really works. But this is great if you have tender leaves of lettuce. Let's see, putting it in here. And then you will put the lid on this. But this is great because actually it won't let them get crushed. The second part about storing lettuce long-term is that you don't want it to get crushed. So if you're using a bag like this, but then cramming a whole bunch of stuff into the drawer, the leaves will get crushed, then they'll bend, and then they'll rot faster. So the benefit of doing this is also not wasting plastic, but you won't crush them. The downside to this, I would say, is just the size. It's a little bit harder to kind of fit in the drawer, kind of takes up space, but you can stack it a little bit. So the other last really important part I want to say is that before you store your lettuce, don't wash it. If you're buying any of that bagged lettuce that's already pre-washed, that's fine because it goes through a really great drying process. But if you're bringing home lettuce, don't wash it until right before you eat it because any additional water added to it will help it rot rather than stay fresh longer. So if you can, wait to wash right before eating. Okay, that's lettuce. Let me know if you have any questions. And as always, I'm still waiting for my first request on which produce we're going to use next week. So if you have any things that you're not sure how to store properly, put it in the comments below. See you then.